This will likely be my last thing.
So, 20 minutes. Silverized connection. This is
Okay.
this is the
Can
last
I
part of
also-
the final theory.
Can I
Alright,
also
I'll
mention?
stay until then.
Can I also say I missed out on a comic book because I went to take care of my dogs, and I also got drugs for my headache.
Did it work?
Hello
I haven't
everyone,
checked them yet.
Blackfoot Ferret here. I've completed my second full reading of the new FNAF novel The Silver Eyes, and I have a lot to share with you today. First, the book is
Halloween at
amazing.
Freddy's?
It obviously was handcrafted over 10 months and
What
features a
the hell?
beautiful
Yeah, play that
character-driven
last
narrative
one here.
involving several kids, many adults, a few lovingly dangerous robots, and more than one villain. If the movie is anything like this novel, we're all in for a real treat. Which is why this video is not about that story. If you'd like a sample of the novel, check out Rosbowski's reading or pick up the digital, physical, and hopefully soon
There you
audio
go.
version.
Wait, someone did a
$10
reading of
or
this
whatever
of
it
these
might be by
books?
now. This video is
Right,
about all
Tim.
the game-relevant bits of lore that are hidden throughout the novel. What can the Silver Eyes and its parallel world tell us about the hidden story of the games? And what specifically does this novel confirm or disprove on my
I mean,
own
he's gonna
FNAF
put
series,
all
The
of this
Final
in,
Theory?
all the
The
books
book is
into
definitely
canon,
in
like
another
the
world.
entirety
The
of the
timeline has
thing.
changed with the
So
main
yeah,
Don't tell me.
Video 3 was only a script release, so it would have been a lot of reading. So Jeremy Last Sight, Theory of Everything, a full story of the phone.
You're telling me we missed out on a dramatic reading?
Yeah. The case that our character in FNAF 4 is actually Jeremy Fitzgerald's mind trapped in a matrix. And his animatronic form is in the box. Wait, bot? Robot?
I think
What?
Wait,
so
robot
Jeremy-
trapped inside the box? This sounds familiar.
so. Jeremy's in the mind is in the Matrix right now.
And also the story of Shadow Bonnie, the fanatic who went too far in his quest for revenge.
His frontal lobe is in the box.
Definitely in another world, time was changed with the 5 minutes being out in 1985. Huh.
How did he get that one correct?
That's because it's stated in Silver Eyes.
At least he figured out that one. But Jeremy's mind being in stasis.
1985. The story begins 10 years later when Charlie, the daughter of the inventor of the animatronics, returns to the town she fled after her friend Michael became the 5th child to vanish at Freddy's, to attend a memorial in his honor. All the kids have distinct appearances and none of them appear in the FNAF minigames. The story is told both in real time and in
All
Charlie's
distinct
flashbacks and occasional...
appearances, and they're not in the FNAF minigames because all the kids don't have distinct appearances.
And then FNAF 6 comes out. Yo, I got my design changed and everything.
Make. The restaurant, which of course they visit repeatedly, is heavily modeled after FNAF 1. Foxy resides in Pirate's Cove. Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica are on the stage, and Golden Freddy goes wherever he wants. There's an office, a bathroom, a closet, and a kitchen, and doors that stop animatronics and psychos with varying degrees of success. That being said, traces of FNAF 2 can be found in the carousel and side party rooms, even though there's no sign of the toy animatronics.
The editing for this
The arcade
video
from FNAF
is
3
just gonna
takes
be a
lot
bunch of
of
people
damage,
losing
and
their
we know the origin
minds.
story of
Can I
two
say,
characters from the
I
third game
think
by the
that's
end of the
because
book.
you
There
don't
may even
see
be
the
shades of
entire
FNAF 4 locked
location.
away in the old house of Charlie's father.
There
The
could
novel
be a
creates another
character.
world adjacent to the FNAF game world, with a new set
what
of
the
mysteries
heck
of
is
its
that?
own. However,
Purple
in the
plush
process of
strap, purple
telling
plush
the story,
strap.
Silver Eyes
Theodore.
reveals major details about the background of the FNAF
Ah,
games themselves.
that's
Details
supposed
that
to be
cross dimensions
Theodore?
and relevant to
I'm
both
dead.
worlds. Essential clues for any theorist trying to solve the
I'll
story.
take the
So now that my
official
foreshadowing
picture.
is
Thank you
done,
very
it's time for
much.
the public service announcement. From here on out, this video will contain massive spoilers. No.
We're in the future.
Massive
Alright,
I mean,
boys,
it's like a-
massive spoilers, I gotta go.
Massive spoilers! So if you haven't read the book or listened to it, please go and do
TV
that
joke.
before I ruin these discoveries for you. Huge things happen in this book, and it's best to discover
Putting
them
on a
yourself.
voice and saying
Then,
it
when you're
louder.
done, we can come back here and finish our chat. Now, for those continuing on, put batteries in your flashlight and put on your Freddy head, because we're going for a dangerous wild ride.
Oh,
Item
you mean,
1,
I thought
the
you-
purple guy
what
is the
about the
FNAF
Freddy
1 Night
costume,
Watchman. After finding Freddy
no.
strangely intact and breaking into it a few times, Charlie and her friends find the night
Joke's
guard
on
waiting for
you,
them.
I wear
Rather
a
than
spring
arresting them,
bunny
he accepts
head.
her
Dave.
invitation to join them in exploring Freddy's. This man is described as immediately off-putting, tall and slightly too thin for his uniform, which bagged at the shoulders and waist, as if he used to be larger and better health. Later, sneaking around
What are
Freddy,
you,
he
body
moved
shaming?
fast, scuttling almost sideways and darting his eyes back over his hunched shoulders. So our Night Watchman basically looks like this. Then, our friend the purple guy has a life-changing epiphany. When introducing himself to the kids, he looks down in surprise at his own name tag, pointing to it, and realizing, my name tag says Dave, so Dave must be my name! Okay, So,
What the
Dave
hell?
quickly proves that he's more than just a security guard. Earlier, the
I'm
kids discovered
sorry.
two hidden mini control rooms, each the size of a refrigerator laying on its side, which each
Get
control
over
half of
that.
the lights and animatronics at Freddy's, allowing a two-man team
Episode
to
one,
maneuver the robots
help
completely out
us.
of view of the main office. The kids have little luck using the unmarked
Episode
controls,
1.
but Dave instantly and fluently activates them to make the robots dance. Clearly
Episode
having used them
1,
before.
all
Item
lowercase,
2,
period.
the purple guy is the
Pain.
murderer and wore the yellow Bonnie suit. Once in
Yep.
Freddy's, Dave sets up a distraction, then slips away to the main office to retrieve and put on the yellow spring Bonnie suit, then grabs one of the kids in the confusion. Jason witnesses the grab and swears the Bonnie did
Hey,
the
wait, I
kidnapping,
thought we already
while
played
regular
the
Bonnie is
song.
still on stage. It's quickly revealed in flashbacks and
Last
further
video, this is a
attacks
different
that
video.
Dave has done this many times before. Item 3. All the children were killed in Springlock
No.
suits. Charlie's flashbacks reveal Fredbear's family
No!
diner, the
Freddy's
establishment
not
with
a
two little
Springlock!
spring animatronics, which alternate between
We
fluid
have
motions or
4
jerky robotic
fingers!
movements, depending if the human was in them or if they were set to animatronic mode. Charlie's
There is
dad
a clear
demonstrates the
difference
dangers of
between a
Springlocks
normal
and why you should
animatron-
never play with them.
Pause.
Back at Freddy's, Dave
sec.
traps his abducted kid into one of the first characters Henry, Charlie's
There is a
father,
clear
ever
difference
made.
between a
A crude
normal
suit we don't
animatronic and a
recognize, but is
Springlock
clearly a
animatronic.
Springlock suit,
Springlocks
which
have
threatens to
5
often crush the
fingers,
kid
so
with every
humans can
slight
wear them.
motion. This is a spring suit. The
Yeah,
yellow
that's
scoots
what
were spring
robots
suits,
do,
and
though.
it quickly becomes clear that Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were all spring
Freddy,
suits as
Bonnie,
well.
Chica, and
No,
Foxy
no.
all have 4 fingers.
I don't know
Literally,
how.
the suit described
The
in
only
the book
versions
says
of
it's
these
a,
animatronics that have 5 fingers are
it's
the
a
Nightmares
blue-
and Rockstars.
it's a blue torso. Not even Bonnie blue, just light blue.
So Toy Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, but in the graphic novel we see it's actually quite bulky as well.
Item 4. Springlock failures are a chain reaction.
chunk.
Any small movement can set off a springlock, especially the jarring impact of another one firing nearby. So springlock failures are like dominoes or firecrackers. They quickly spread throughout the suit like wildfire, releasing the animatronic parts and fully impaling anyone inside. These chain reactions are demonstrated twice in the book, once attempting to free the kid, and again at the climax of the book, where we get to see firsthand the process by which a human in a spring suit becomes a possessed animatronic. Item 5. Spring suits act as power armor. Why would anyone voluntarily wear these walking death traps? We see many people injured by snapping spring locks during the book,
I'm
and
injured.
Dave has a massive symmetrical scar collection that shows just how much damage spring locks can do to the human body even when you use them properly. Yet both Dave and Charlie's father Henry, the inventor of the suits, wore spring suits for years as the Yellow Bear and Rabbit team at Fredbear's Family Diner, and later again at Freddy's itself. And our good friend Dave is happy to
As
show
both
the kids, and the poor
animatronics
policeman who
and
came by,
suits.
just how easily even an emaciated man can overpower people and toss them around like toys when you're wearing a spring suit. The animatronics
Well,
can
that's
toss
only
arcade
because
machines
Dave
across
has
the room,
experience.
as can any human armed with such a suit.
Dave
Item
has
6, but that isn't
experience.
the true purpose of the spring suits. We're clearly missing something. If strength was the goal, and
Which immediately gets thrown out the window in FNAF
made a
3.
powered exoskeleton without any spring locks or impaling risk. But Dave feels an almost religious attachment to his yellow bunny
Yeah.
suit, seeming deflated and empty whenever without it, and gaining a strange wild vitality whenever in it, as if part of himself had been restored. Later, when captured, Dave refuses to even talk to Charlie and company until they place the yellow Bonnie helmet on him. Then he adopts an entirely different voice and personality. His human eyes turn glassy, as if the suit is talking instead of him. Not Dave claims that the robots will
Wait,
kill all
pause.
the kids, but not him because I am one of them.
There is something hilarious. Like, I basically chalked up the reason why William Afton sounds different between him as Springtrap and the only other speaking role for Sister Location. I just chalked it up to the spring locks, like impaling his throat. But does he just have a split personality in the rabbit suit?
When he puts on the suit, he basically becomes a different person.
So when he puts on the rabbit suit, he gains a split personality.
When
In-
William
in
gets
at least the books.
That explains why he
We see
starts
Glacier as another
laughing when he gets
character,
into
as
the
John
spring
shares
suit
a
in
memory about the
FNAF
day
3.
Michael was abducted. First, the animatronics went crazy on the stage. Then a bear who was not Freddy
When
walked
Michael
up to the
was
table.
abducted-
Then
was
human
abducted.
technician walked up
That's
to the
weird to hear.
stage, much in the same way the animatronics freak out at the sight of Dave when Charlie and friends visit. The bear
Yeah,
had
it's
dead
still
yet
different.
functional human eyes, and was the only one not watching the chaos on stage. Then the bear, who John remembers later was Yellow, and Michael both vanished. Henry and Dave are
Hello,
found together in
Bear.
multiple memories and pictures throughout the novel, with Henry always wearing the yellow spring Fredbear suit, and Dave wearing the yellow spring Bonnie suit. Whenever they wear the suits, they mentally change gears into their personas as Fredbear and Springtrap. Take Bruce Wayne, for example. Bruce Wayne is the costume,
I'm
the careless
sorry?
playboy facade he shows the world. It's only when evil strikes he puts on the cool winged mammal costume to avenge the innocent. They dance his true persona, that of Batman. Yes, dear viewers, Batman is a furry. You can stop calling us lame. So the possibility of being impaled by the spring suits is clearly a design choice from the beginning. Many rows of spare costume heads on the wall and strange
When you
robot
say
toys
that,
made
you
for
sound even
Charlie
more
at the old
lame.
house have a strange self-awareness about them. And by the end of the novel, we learn from an impeccable source that the souls of the dead children are indeed residing within the
Well,
animatronics.
Don't
Item
play
7.
Undertale music.
Golden Freddy is a ghost, a good guy, and child number 5. Freddy, Bonnie,
Well,
Chica,
yeah.
and Foxy have a major
Well, one of them
disadvantage.
is.
Whenever
Well,
they shut
half
down, it
of
seems
it's
to
a good
reset their
guy.
short-term memory, making it hard for them to tell between friend or foe. Fortunately for them, they have someone they can turn to for answers who doesn't forget. Because Golden Freddy isn't an animatronic anymore, he's a ghost. The
Well,
first
yes, he
paranormal
is
sign
an
at Freddy's is when the
animatronic. He's
children's
both.
drawings begin to change, and tell the story of a kid being kidnapped by Bonnie, ordering to leave the restaurant, which comes too late. Then Golden Freddy appears to the kid trapped in the old Springlock suit, calming them down, then revealing the horrible secret of exactly how animatronics are made. Charlie and the kid both see Golden Freddy at the same time, and she recognizes the suit as the very same one her father used to wear at Fredbear's Family Diner, except this one appears empty, slumped in the corner, with 2 pinpricks of light for eyes, and then vanishes without a trace. Then, at a truly terrible moment in the story, Golden Freddy appears out of thin air, a golden
Well, now
bear
it just
suit standing
stands.
upright with nothing to support it
You, what's
inside,
up?
and reveals his greatest secret, that he is Michael, their friend, and the last of the 5
Before
children
Mike
abducted
Lafton
during
was
the
the
months of disappearances at Freddy's. The kids move to hug him, but a distraction occurs, and when they turn back, the suit is slumped again without any
Let's say,
sound or visible
oh, that's
movement.
why
And the next
Michael's
time they
Golden
look back,
Freddy.
it's completely gone, without a trace, like it was never actually there to begin with. Like all the Phantom animatronics from the games, Golden Freddy resembles the suit he was stuffed into before being disassembled or purged from his robot. Michael was abducted by Fredbear and Purple Guy, and was then stuffed into Henry's own Spring Fredbear suit. Item 8. Henry, Charlie's father, is the pink guy.
No.
There are 2 explicit references to Henry, the book's equivalent to the phone guy in the games, as being pink. First, Charlie had a play cabinet in Henry's old office, which was a salmon color that Charlie had always insisted was pink. The second is in Chapter 8, when Henry and John find the picture of father in the yellow Freddy Fazbear costume. The head was tucked under his arm, staring sightlessly into the camera, like Golden Freddy. But Charlie's father was smiling, his face pink and sweaty, as if he had been in the costume for a long
Don't
time.
you dare play
Beside him is a
games.
yellow Bonnie. And from the photo, a human is clearly in the Spring Bonnie suit. We learn the true name of Dave, the purple guy, William Afton. Henry and William were the joint owners of Fredbear's Family
My
Diner
name is
and
William
Freddy
Afton.
Fazbear's Pizza, with Henry being the artist and genius behind the animatronics, and William being the businessman who made it work out financially.
Funny,
The
I
two
always
men have been
repre-
working
I always
together for years
represent
at both
and Henry
restaurants,
as an
in
orange
spite of all the
sprite.
murders, and in spite of Mr.
know,
William
most people
Dave
do.
Afton donning the Spring Bonnie suit and abducting Sammy,
And now since
Henry's
orange
son,
guy exists,
Charlie's
I
twin
guess
brother
we can't
from
do that
Fredbear's
anymore.
Family Diner,
Can be
never
yellow.
to be seen again. Dave, in his Springtrap persona, explains that he helped Henry create. Yes, Dave
I
was
like
the
how he
first
called-
I
brother,
always had for
but he
Henry.
did it for a reason.
I like how he
helped
called
Henry
his last name
create
Fredbear.
animatronics. Henry seems to be a much
Are you
more
not gonna say
sympathetic
anything
character
about how
than
he
the
called
sociopathic
Springtrap a
counterpart
persona
phone
for
guy from
William?
the games. He clearly loves his children and his wife, and Charlie's early memories at Fredbear's are happy
Others.
ones. And yet, there are many references throughout the book about how Henry was
Why
always
am I still
preoccupied by
here?
something, thinking about
Just
his
to
life
suffer.
creations constantly, even when doing mundane things. John shocks Charlie with
At
the
night, I
disturbing
can
news
still
that many
feel
people
my
in
every
town
single
thought
part of my
Henry
body.
might have been responsible for the murders. And as the book progresses,
Being
she finds
constantly
this idea
stabbed
harder
within
and
this
harder
suit.
to dismiss. And love might have a different meaning to a mad scientist than it would to ordinary people. When interrogated, Dave, as Springtrap, says, "I helped him create." And then, "We both wanted to love. Your father loved, and now I have loved." A mad scientist might consider giving someone immortality
Might give
as a soul
someone
residing
immortality
inside a
at-
robot to be a gift, even if the subject might
Interesting
be
set of words. Or himself, immortality.
agree. And like our friend Bruce Wayne, there's no guarantee that a person's public self and their secret inner persona will both be good or even resemble each other at all. Soon after moving to the new house after
I mean, I
Fredbear's
put on a
Family Diner
persona.
closed, Charlie's mother disappeared. Charlie
Yeah,
cannot
a
remember
good
her ever
person.
saying goodbye and assumes she left because the
I put
mutual
on the
pain was
funny.
just
I
too
put on the
unbearable.
funny man
Charlie lived
persona.
along with father for some time, watching him build robots, including all of the main animatronics. The memory was mostly positive, except for one thing.
The
One of the
silver
robots,
eyes.
an endoskeleton with blazing silver eyes, would always sit in the corner of the workshop, twitching like it was in pain.
Which is later revealed in the
Ah,
book.
yes.
Charlie
The-
discovers the
the
silver eye
silver
endoskeleton
eyes.
again, inside Foxy. Henry,
It was-
the phone guy's
it was
favorite animatronic.
originally Foxy,
In the
but that was
FNAF
changed
games,
before
Phone Guy
Foxy
is stuffed
Baby
into the
came
spring
out.
Fredbear suit by the kids during the FNAF One Night 4 phone call event. In the Silver Eyes, Henry commits suicide,
Not
Foxy
stuffing.
stuffing
is
himself
still
into an
fun. It was
endoskeleton that
literally
Charlie has
slashed.
never seen before. There is no costume on the skeleton, showing its complexity similar to a living
Still,
thing.
Henry, that
with its
seems a
blood
bit too
circulation and
complicated.
wiring. But if you wore the same suit in death that he did
Like,
in
Henry,
life,
if you want
we know
to
who this
die,
thing
just
is
do it the
belongs
old-fashioned
to.
way.
Fredbear.
Suicide by
Henry and
ghost.
William Afton were friends and partners in crime. They were the paint guy and the purple guy. They were
Henry
Fredbear
is
and
not
Springtrap.
Fredbear.
They were the Color Brothers, the mad scientist team researching how to put a human soul into a robot. By the end of the book, both Fredbear and Springtrap are in functioning animatronic form. Charlie returns to the old house after 10 years being away and living with her Aunt Jen.
Henry could have
Discover
just
that
used
some of
rope.
Father's tools look well maintained and used. And there's a strange deep
Oh.
furrow in the gravel.
I
outside
feel
like we have
that goes
some
all over
rope.
the dirt.
Someone
Like,
Like
there's
a
some
single
rope in
heavy
his,
has
his
used
office, he
tools.
likely could do it.
Hint, hint. To
Bonk.
next book.
or something heavy has used the tools and been to the house
Dig,
relatively
dig.
recently. And then there are questions about Charlie herself.
Ah.
Why does she have strange lapses in memory? She seems to have unusual physical attributes, like
Well,
pronounced
did he
strength,
actually
fine
predict it?
skin, and an unusually high tolerance for pain. She can bleed, but has a great aversion to hospitals, something her Aunt Jan seemed to instill in her, and insists on using simple drugstore first aid supplies even when taking a Wolverine-style super combo hit.
Cool.
Why does Charlie have 3 strange closets, the smallest of which contains an animatronic doll that used
The
to
fourth
look exactly
closet.
like she did at an earlier age? Why is the big girl closet, which used to be
Mm-hmm.
sealed, now open, and
Wait, is he actually
This was
already
all hinted
guessing
at
this?
in the first book. Fourth Closet Warriors hinted at. Fourth Closet and Twisted Ones were both hinted at in the first book. The Big Girl Closet, which is Circus Baby.
Circus Baby.
empty. Perhaps after losing one child, father took extra precautions to make sure he didn't lose another. Or perhaps her brother wasn't actually lost.
Theodore.
He's been around in a different form all this time. The Silver Ice has its own set of mysteries separate from the games, and there are many directions speculation could take. I certainly hope there's another book. However, one thing is very clear. Henry, Charlie's father, is the paint guy.
And that's where
The mad
this
scientist
part-
who created the animatronics,
this
the
part
equivalent of the
here
phone guy
is
from
in the
FNAF
picture
games.
we showed
He is
you.
Scott Cawthon's own character of the novel, and the single most important character in all of
But
FNAF's
it's
epic
also
story.
Freddy plus
I
Trying
think
to
that's
explain
part
FNAF
three.
without the paint guy is like explaining Masters of the
This
Universe
is the
without
Scott
Skeletor or
Cawthon ego
Transformers without
theory.
Megatron.
So that's what the
It just
toy
doesn't make
phone
any
was.
sense.
Toy
So to
phone was
recap, here's what we learned from the Silver Eyes. There are 2 villains who both
I already
were
have the
either
title
stuffed
for
into
episode
the
1
2
for
golden
part
suits.
1 of this
Golden
series.
Freddy is child number 5, who was stuffed into the Spring
Part
Fredbear
one.
suit, then removed
The
from
Ego
it. Freddy
series.
Fazbear's Pizza is a front for a mad scientist who's harvesting children and security guards as test subjects, learning how to put a human soul into a robot. The FNAF One Night Guard is the purple guy. In the novel, his name is
No.
William Dave Afton.
Nope,
In the
that's
game,
wrong.
his name is
William
Mike Schmidt.
Dave
In a
Afton.
nutshell, the
Completely
summarized
confirmed.
conclusion
My middle
from
name
my
is
second
Schmidt.
video in the Final Theory series, The Color Brothers, was the real answer to FNAF 3. Scott said that someone in the
No,
community
my
had
middle
discovered the
name's
answer to
Schmidt.
FNAF
No.
3, and I was that person. I thought it
No, you weren't. How do you?
Yeah.
Jesus, your ego's high. Oh,
That's why I say we need to title episode 1 The Ego Trilogy.
was onto something when Scott unexpectedly released FNAF 4 the day
Doing
after
what?
I sent him an email link to the Color
You
Brothers.
sent
He had
him
whole
a
countdown
link?
series of teaser images planned,
What?
but suddenly scrapped them all and released the whole game 2 weeks early, causing great inconvenience and confusion to Markiplier and other
I'm
prominent
sorry,
YouTubers
what?
that were at a convention. You only do something like that for a very good reason, and someone putting the answer to FNAF on YouTube certainly qualifies. Thank you for the awesome
Oh,
games in the novel.
you just did
If the
it
movie is anything
late
like the
because
book, it's
you
going to
just
be
said,
amazing.
"Ah."
I'm sorry if I gave you a bit of a scare earlier on, but if the last 5 months are any indication,
Yeah, because
there
you
was
didn't
absolutely
get
nothing
anything
to worry
right.
about. So, it's a new year. Where do I go from here? I still have to finish Jeremy's last site, the final video of the Final Theory, what I believe to be the solution to FNAF 4 and the story of Shadow Bonnie, Golden Freddy's friend and nemesis, revealed at last. And in spite of everything that's happened, I'm still going to use the revised November 11th version of the script. I've been conflicted about this video for a
he
long
still
time
hasn't
now, and
uploaded
found
it, I
making
don't
headway
think.
impossible. But now I have a clearer sense of purpose, and will finish the video like I promised all of you before Halloween. I've also been moving forward, working on an Undertale theory with my friend the Sonic God, which should reveal another epic story that's been well hidden, and shed light on why
Wingding
searching for
Gaster.
Wingding Gaster might be so darn difficult. Perhaps he's not the one we should be looking
Wingding
for.
Gaster.
Then the Final
I
Theory
love
series will
Wingding Gaster.
continue, with a look at the overlooked brilliance of the ending to Matrix Revolutions, and how it actually does make perfect sense, and restores Neo to his rightful place as the One. I promised the Fun Day Papa
yes.
Show I'd have Bunny
The
4
Matrix
The
fan.
Revenge, ready in time for their Chocolate Easter Bunny
If we
Death
can
Video
pause.
Marathon.
I figured it out. This dude's a Matrix fan, so of course he always takes
yeah,
a greater picture to
Everything
everything. Like,
else
the
is just
Matrix.
credits and stuff with that stupid stuff that PG thing.
So
the
that's where-
Matrix series is just a condescending, hey, what if we were plugged into machines? Like, that's the
I
entire
love how
It's
cocky
just
sounds
some-
at the very end.
it's-
Like, then Scott must have
It's
realized
so-
it was my theory that was right because he released everything afterward.
As I said, we have to call the first 3 parts the Ego Trilogy.